Today you will see the real Parasite base, thanks to which I was able to get unique items and much more. Filmed on the server MarsMine, the address of the server on the screen and in the description, join in. I logged into MarsMine and immediately typed the command crafting, which has a variety of dynamite options, but today we only need one piglin dynamite and its main feature is the ability to explode obsidian. However, creating it requires a lot of gunpowder. After that, I typed the command warp market and arrived at the market. Approached the seller and checked what items he needed at the moment. For example, for a whole stack of cocoa beans, I could get $57,000, which was simply amazing at the very beginning of my survival. I checked how much time was left until the items changed and realized that I definitely wouldn't have time to do anything. I waited a bit, the items changed, and I noticed that he was actively buying sand at the moment. I decided to type the command RTP and chose a safe teleportation. I ended up in a biome with no trees, and after another teleportation, I found myself in an ideal biome. I harvested my first tree, created my first pickaxe, and after gathering enough stone, I made a stone sword, pickaxe, and axe, gathered some food, and noticed a tropical biome. As we remember, for a whole stack of cocoa beans, I can get $57,000. Suddenly, I also noticed a unique tower, which contains chests with unique resources, but unfortunately, I currently don't have a unique key, and someone has already explored the tower. I gathered coal and cooked food, then headed to the tropical biome. I collected useful resources when I suddenly saw a message in the chat. A player has teleported near you, and now I needed to gather the necessary resources as quickly as possible and leave this location, because it was unknown what armor that player had. I left for a safe area and decided to build a base and farms here. I typed the command set home and set my home point, then started placing logs of tropical wood on which I planted cocoa beans a few minutes later. Next, I began building a bamboo farm, lighting up the area so that no creeper would spawn here. I made watermelon seeds from watermelon, created a hoe, and planted watermelon. And since I'm not playing alone on the server and I have no armor, it was decided to go to the mine for resource gathering. While traveling through the sandy biome, I found the tropical biome again, which I still needed. I gathered bamboo, tropical wood, some food, and coal. After a little while, I found an abandoned mine, in which is usually a wagon with a chest, and already in it may be unique items of the server MarsMine, and I began to explore this mine. I opened the first chest, and unfortunately there was nothing interesting in it. Opening the second carriage with a chest, I also did not find anything of interest either, and the third wagon, which also had nothing good in it. I returned to my base, sorted the items into the chest, and took bamboo and tropical wood. I went to expand my farms. I headed to the mine for iron, when suddenly I received a new level, returned to my base, and started smelting iron. I typed the command price to claim the reward for level 1, which is $15 and 2 coins. With coins, I can buy unique resources in shop. I gathered wood, created chests and stone swords, and began harvesting bamboo, creating iron armor and iron tools. The seller would update his items in a few seconds. I noticed that he needed cobblestone. I immediately went to gather it, and after a short time, my pickaxe broke, so I returned to the seller, handed over all the cobblestone, and received $40,000 and 3 experience points for it. And if I continue like this, I probably won't be able to save up for my dynamite plan. After all, one dynamite costs $30,000 from another seller, which is a lot, and one obsidian costs $25,000. I just needed to wait for the seller to change his items. While I was waiting, I decided to go to the mine to gather some experience and money. After a little while, I reached level 2. Typed the command price, and for level 2, I can get $30,000, 4 coins, and 2 uranium powders. This is a unique item that creates a level 3 regeneration cloud. I noticed that the seller currently needed cocoa beans and realized that I needed tools to gather them. After some time, I created diamond tools and began harvesting cocoa beans, but I won't sell them now as I need to expand my farm. After 30 minutes, I harvested a whole chest of cocoa beans, collected them and ran to the seller, handed over the cocoa beans and received $2 million and 205 experience points. And this is just the beginning. It will only get better. I handed over a few more cocoa beans and received $1,300,000 and 142 experience points, thus leveling up several times. And And for this, I can now claim rewards, namely $45,000 and 6 coins, $60,000 and 8 coins, 2 uranium powders and 4 golden apples, $75,000, 10 coins and the Hydra kit. This is a special set of a certain rank on the server. I immediately opened it and received a diamond armor set and diamond tools, but these are just nice bonuses on the way to our goal today. I checked the seller again for the items he currently needed and noticed sand and birch, which I immediately went to gather. Suddenly, a message appeared on the screen. You have completed the quest. Its name is Jack Plane. I typed the command quest, and for completing it, I received 20 experience points and $20,000. I returned to the seller, handed over all the items, and received $40,000 and 4 experience points for it. I approached another seller and bought some diamond tools with efficiency from him and went to gather sand. After a couple of minutes, I handed over all the sand and received $169,000 and 16 experience points, which was much more profitable than gathering birch. So I bought another shovel so that in the future I could also gather sand. Back at home, I harvested cocoa beans and created a diamond hoe. Since I earned good money, I can now earn even more with one quest. For this, I need to get to the unique items shop through the command shop and buy a book on technology. After that, I went to a safe location and started completing this quest. After a couple of minutes, I completed it, for which I received 40 experience points and $80,000. You probably thought, yes, this is very little and it's easier to hand over cocoa beans. That's right, but while my farm is growing, I can till even more land, which will allow me to earn over $2 million. Therefore, I continued to complete this quest, and I also bought experience bottles for dollars to later repair my hoe. After a little while, I found an unusual structure, and by right-clicking, I received a level 1 regeneration effect for 40 minutes. Back at home, I created an anvil and repaired my hoe with another hoe, saving my experience. I checked the seller and noticed that he currently needed bamboo, gathered it at home and handed it over to the seller, for which I received $200,000 and 19 experience points. I did the same several and earned good money for the plan that I will implement very soon. At the safe location, I received speed and continued completing the quest. I repaired the hoe again and went to a safe location. I found a base of some player, inspected it and also killed the guards. And apparently, this player didn't know that it was possible to create a region with a special block and protect their base, so I could safely open their chests and take the resources I needed. I even found the Pandar totem. Just in case, I checked all corners of this base and found nothing else. Returning home, I decided to store the found resources and finally create my region with 1 diamond block. Of course, I could have made my region much larger, as there are other blocks for creating regions with a larger number of blocks in my region. And now, this is my territory, and other players will not be able to open the chest here unless they blow up my base with dynamite. After some time, I completed this entire quest and my balance was already $5,500,000. I collected rewards again, for which I even received a regular key from the tower. We found a unique tower at the very beginning of the video. And there are also regular and rare towers. I also received a cool sticker next to my nickname, but now I'm not planning to look for towers and just teleport to the market, noticing that I'm already at the top of the server's balance, and I decide to exchange my regular key for unique items, which can be very cool items or ordinary ones, depending on luck. I click exchange and receive a resurrection shield, which saves from death like a totem, but the plus is that it's also a shield. I buy new good tools and upgrade my armor. Also, for the rewards, I received 2 cases. One was with kits and the other with unique items. I opened the case with kits first and I got the Hydra set, which is diamond armor and tools. In the case with unique items, I received destruction arrows, which break blocks in a 3x3 area. And now, I can buy gunpowder from another seller. Excuse me, a lot of gunpowder, because for my plan, I need a lot of gunpowder. A player teleported to me and I decided to just give him my shield. A little later, I started gathering sand. Back at home, I created regular dynamite, and from it and the gunpowder, I can create unique dynamite. But for that, I need even more gunpowder, because to create dynamite that can explode obsidian, a lot of other unique dynamite dynamite is needed. I noticed that the seller needed cocoa beans, so I gathered all of them at my base, handed them over, and received $1 million and 115 experience points. I immediately bought even more gunpowder, footage of buying gunpowder and gathering sand. Suddenly, I noticed that an airdrop would open soon, and according to the coordinates, I was very close to it, so I decided to go for it. I created a boat to cross the sea more easily. I approached the coordinates, and the airdrop was probably somewhere in the mountains. Finally, I found it. I forgot to mention that the airdrop can contain both regular and unique items, so I opened it and received very valuable items. One of them is an automatic farm. This block automatically grows and collects crops within a radius of 10 blocks, and in the unique shop, this block costs $3 million. I placed it on the cocoa bean farm and continued creating dynamite, gathering sand, and buying gunpowder. I got some flint and made a lighter, and decided to check how the unique dynamite with an increased blast radius explodes. After that, I created a bucket and filled it with water and went to the mine where I created and gathered obsidian. I realized that with my pickaxe, I wouldn't be able to gather a lot of obsidian. Therefore, I bought several good pickaxes from the seller, and back home, I combined them in the anvil and received a pickaxe with level 5 efficiency. After an hour, I gathered a full inventory of obsidian, and now we come to the most interesting part. I create the first parasite base. The idea is that I make a slightly larger layer on top of the base, where I place the unique dynamite that explodes obsidian, and players who want to make this base their own won't even suspect that soon nothing will be left of this base. I start building the second parasite base, and here I realized that there is a small problem. I was an ordinary player without a rank, and I can only set one home point, and I even created a clan to set a second one, but I needed 3 home points, so I decided to purchase the Triton rank for $9. And when all the bases were ready, I just had to wait, and after a few days, I returned to the server to check these bases, teleported to the first base, and someone had already blown it up, and most likely, since it was blown up, it means that some player lived here. I teleported to the second home point and saw that the territory was occupied, and I appeared in the same place, so I could blow it up and see what was there. And indeed, some clan of players lived here, as they even improved this base. Using a unique arrow, I escaped from this base, gathered some blocks, and built a pillar up, as well as a pillar to the base itself. I decided to drop the unique dynamite with a 200% larger blast radius to the chests. Went down and saw a huge amount of resources. Back at my base, I created several chests and tried to transfer these resources to myself as quickly as possible. And just look at these items. There were even unique resources that could be bought for a huge amount of dollars. And I want to give all these resources to you. Join the Marsmine server at this IP, and don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel.